Shadows of Despair. The Legacy of Aelwyn. In the shadowed realm of perpetual night, where the stars dared not cast their feeble light, the land lay cloaked in a dense shroud of despair. In this forsaken world, the tendrils of darkness coiled around every living soul, leaving only the faintest embers of hope flickering within the hearts of the most resilient. In the heart of this desolation stood the city of Ash, a once thriving metropolis now reduced to crumbling spires and scorched streets. Here, the creators of the night, ancient beings of malevolent power, prowled with unrestrained malice. They were creatures born from the darkest abyss, their forms shrouded in shadows, and their eyes burning with an unquenchable hunger for the souls of mortals. The people of the city of Ash huddled together, their frail forms clinging to the dim glow of dying fires, the warmth barely enough to stave off the bone-chilling cold that seeped into their very beings. Desperation etched deep lines into their weary faces, and the weight of unending terror pressed down upon their shoulders, threatening to crush what little resilience remained. Amidst this bleak backdrop, a lone figure emerged, a warrior named Aelwyn, marked by a past as dark as the world around her. Her eyes, once filled with youthful vigor, now harbored a hardened resolve forged through countless battles against the creators of the night. Clad in armor etched with ancient runes, she bore a blade infused with the very essence of a dying star, the only weapon capable of rending the shadows that enshrouded their world. Aelwyn, driven by a tenacious determination to bring an end to the tyranny of the creators, embarked on a perilous quest. She journeyed through the desolate wastelands, where twisted creatures spawned from nightmares prowled in search of prey. Every step she took was a confrontation with the darkness that threatened to consume her very soul. With each encounter, Aelwyn faced adversaries of unfathomable malevolence. The creators of the night sent their most formidable minions, creatures whose forms twisted and contorted into grotesque abominations, driven solely by an insatiable thirst for destruction. Aelwyn's battles were fierce, her swordplay a symphony of desperation and determination, each stroke cutting through the encroaching darkness, carving a path towards the heart of the creator's malevolent power. As she neared her ultimate confrontation, Aelwyn found herself beset by doubt, the weight of the world's despair threatening to extinguish the flame of hope within her. But as she stood on the precipice of surrender, a glimmer of light pierced through the eternal night, illuminating a forgotten prophecy etched in ancient stone. It spoke of a chosen one, a harbinger of dawn, fated to rise in the darkest hour and shatter the veil of eternal night. With newfound purpose, Aelwyn rallied the shattered remnants of hope within the hearts of the people. Together, they marched towards the heart of the city of Ash, where the creators of the night awaited their final reckoning. In a climactic clash that echoed through the annals of time, Aelwyn faced the embodiment of the darkness that had besieged their world, her blade forged in the dying embers of a star's light, cleaving through the very essence of their malevolence. In a blinding explosion of radiant energy, the night shattered, and a dawn not seen for eons bathed the world in a golden hue. The people of the city of Ash, freed from the shackles of despair, looked to the sky, their faces awash with a newfound sense of wonder and hope. And as Aelwyn stood amidst the ruins of the creator's lair, her form bathed in the resplendent light of a new day, she knew that though the darkness had been vanquished, the memory of its malevolence would forever be etched into the very fabric of their world. Even as the dawn broke, revealing a world no longer consumed by eternal night, the scars of the perpetual darkness remained etched deep into the collective consciousness of the survivors. The city of Ash, now basked in the feeble light of the sun, revealed a landscape ravaged and desecrated by the unrelenting reign of the creators of the night. The once proud spires now stood as twisted remnants, their once glorious architecture reduced to ashen skeletons of a forgotten era. Aelwyn, weary from her arduous battle, stood amidst the ruins, her heart heavy with the weight of the losses suffered in the war against the darkness. The survivors, though now bathed in the hesitant light of day, were haunted by memories that refused to fade, tormented by the echoes of loved ones, lost to the insatiable appetite of the creators. Within the heart of the city of Ash, a new sense of dread took root, as whispers spread of a lingering malevolence that refused to be banished. Strange shadows danced at the edges of vision, and nightmares plagued the minds of the people, leaving them sleepless and haunted by visions of a world consumed once more by the all-encompassing darkness. Aelwyn, now revered as a reluctant savior, bore the burden of the people's fragile hope, her spirit a fortress against the encroaching despair threatening to swallow them whole. In the wake of the vanquished darkness, a new breed of fear took hold, a fear that festered within the hearts of the survivors, gnawing at their resolve and infecting their every thought with the ominous certainty that the creators of the night would return, their hunger unsated and their fury unquenched. In the streets of the city of Ash, a sense of desolation lingered, the once vibrant hub of life reduced to a mere echo of its former glory. The people, their faces etched with lines of grief and trepidation, dared not speak of the darkness that threatened to engulf them once more, for fear that even the faintest acknowledgement might invite the return of the malevolent forces that had wrought havoc upon their world. Aelwyn, haunted by her own inner demons, felt the weight of responsibility bearing down upon her shoulders, the memories of her fallen comrades, and the sacrifices made in the name of a fleeting hope, gnawing at the edges of her sanity. She knew that the darkness, though momentarily subdued, would rise again, its tendrils seeking to claim what little remained of their fractured existence. And in the depths of her weary soul, she realized that the battle against the creators of the night was far from over, and the true test of their resilience had only just begun. As the days passed and the fragile light of the sun cast wavering shadows across the scarred landscape, signs of the impending doom began to manifest. Strange occurrences plagued the city of Ash, whispers of an ancient curse seeping through the cracks of reality, and the earth itself groaned under the weight of an unseen malevolence. The skies, once a symbol of fleeting hope, now bore the mark of an impending tempest, a maelstrom of darkness gathering on the horizon, heralding the return of the creators of the night. Aelwyn, burdened by the knowledge that her previous victory had merely been a reprieve, steeled herself for the inevitable confrontation. She trained tirelessly, honing her skills to a razor's edge, determined to stand against the encroaching tide of darkness, even if it meant sacrificing her very existence in the process. Her resolve, though tested by the relentless onslaught of despair, remained unbroken, fueled by a flickering flame of defiance that refused to be extinguished. As the skies darkened once more and the city of Ash shuddered in anticipation of the looming threat, Aelwyn led the people in a final stand, rallying the survivors to a last desperate defense. The creators of the night, their malevolent forms wreathed in shadows, descended upon the city with an otherworldly fury, their ancient power threatening to swallow all that remained in a voracious whirlwind of eternal despair. In a cataclysmic clash that shattered the very foundations of the city of Ash, Aelwyn, her blade an extension of her unwavering will, confronted the embodiment of the darkness that sought to claim their world. Her battle cry pierced through the roiling darkness, echoing the defiance of a people unwilling to succumb to the whims of fate. With every strike, she fought not only for her survival, but for the faint glimmer of hope that still clung to the hearts of the beleaguered survivors. In a final, desperate gambit, Aelwyn plunged her blade deep into the heart of the darkness, her very essence intertwining with the radiant light that pulsed within her. With a blinding burst of energy, the darkness shattered and the world was plunged into a silence so profound that it threatened to swallow them whole. The city of Ash, now reduced to a desolate ruin, bore witness to the sacrifice of a warrior who had defied the very fabric of destiny itself. As the last vestiges of the creators of the night dissipated into the ether, the people, their spirits shattered and their hopes extinguished, realized that Aelwyn's sacrifice had not been in vain. Though the darkness had claimed their world, her legacy lived on, an indomitable spirit that would be remembered for eons to come. And as the city of Ash lay cloaked in perpetual night once more, the survivors, their souls burdened by the weight of unending despair, clung to the memory of a warrior whose defiance had illuminated even the darkest corners of their shattered world.